Welcome back to Fred Achando Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching our channel for the first time, please subscribe, click the notification bell and like our videos. The reality of governing this nation is slowly dawning on Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto. The ghost of the BBI that they rejected has turned around to come and haunt them. Today, Rigathi Gachagua held and chaired a meeting among three parties who are trying to look into equitable revenue allocation to the 47 counties. And in that meeting, there were representatives of the governors, the Commission of Revenue Allocation was there, and of course there was the National Treasury. Reports say that the meeting took more than 6 hours, but it bore no fruits. Currently, the county governments are getting 370 billion shillings from the national exchequer. But they say this money is not sufficient enough to facilitate all the services that they want, because there were services that were devolved with the 2010 constitution. So in that meeting, the governors had proposed that this figure be raised by 14% so that it can be capped at 425 billion Kenyan shillings. But the Commission for Revenue Allocation insisted that 425 is just too much, and they were capping their figure at 407 billion shillings. Now, the party that was very minimal with this addition was the National Treasury. The National Treasury only added 10 billion so that this figure can move from 370 to 380 billion Kenyan shillings. And so with this impasse, Rigathi Gachagua had no choice but to postpone this meeting, and he said that the next meeting will be arranged between the president and these three parties. The question that was being deliberated today was right in the BBI. In fact, it took several deliberations between the National Assembly and the Senate, and you remember senators retreating to look into a formula that could be accepted among all the counties. And the current Nairobi governor, Mr. Johnson Sakaja, was one of the people who went, and I think it's the one who created a formula, came up with a formula that was accepted by 3/4 of the parliamentarians. In that formula, they were looking at the geographical capacity of any county vis-a-vis the number of people who live there. So population and the geographical center was looked at. And then they were also looking at availability of national projects since independence, and the ease with which these services can be reached within the radius that they're talking about, and they were pegging it against the population. So there was already a formula, but William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, together with their allies, blatantly opposed the BBI, and they claimed that BBI was a project of Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga to reward and to expand the executive, to reward the dynasties, to reward those who already had money and wealth. But if you've seen what is happening today, the BBI has come to haunt them. One, immediately William Ruto ascended to power, he promoted Musalia Mudavadi into the position of chief minister as per the agreement that they had before election. Now, the chief minister is simply a prime minister, something that they opposed in the BBI. They don't want to call it a prime minister because, one, it is not in the constitution, and two, he will be seen as someone who is now negating the very things that he had rejected. Within the BBI, BBI wanted to make it official and put it as part and parcel that is entrenched in the constitution. But as you can see today, Musalia Mudavadi has got an office that is somewhere in the air. It is not within the constitution. And then they also came up with the proposals to create the office of an opposition leader, something that was one of the requirements of the BBI. And then today, Rigathi Gachagua was chairing a meeting where they are looking into an amicable way to have equitable share of this revenue allocation. All these were within the BBI. If they had just, if they were interested in amicable engagement, they should have pinpointed which areas they thought were not good enough, but leave those that they thought were good. They would have supported the BBI, because it turns out that they were more interested in this BBI than even the Azimio. Sometimes as politicians, I feel we need to separate politics and development that is the development that will interest the common man. Because you see, look at what this has happened. Look at what has happened now. They are back to square one, trying to convince the National Assembly to, change the constitution so that they can include the position of a chief or of an opposition leader. They are now coming up, struggling to burn the midnight oil to find a formula that will help in revenue allocation. If we had done this right now, Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto would have been steps ahead. But as it is, it goes without saying that there are several steps behind. They are starting from scratches. Could it mean that they knew the benefits of the BBI, but they did not want this mileage to go to Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga? Or was it because of selfish interest? Because some experts were saying that William Ruto realized that with the 1 man, 1 shillings, 1 vote that was adopted by the Senate, Mount Kenya was going to benefit. There were going to be added some constituencies because there were areas that were found out to be very large and they were going to be subdivided, and that this would mean that many constituencies will even create more employments, they will gain more money, CDF and all this. So William Ruto opposed it, and some experts say that he did this because they realized that Mount Kenya was going to benefit more than his area. Today, if I were William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, I would come up with another proposal to accept the BBI in its totality, not going around to hide behind this and that, because even the BBI was looking at the 1/3, is it 1/3 or 2/3 gender rule? It was within that. If you look at the letter that William Ruto wrote to the 2 speakers, he's telling them to fast track the formation of the new office of the chief of the position leader, and also to look into how they can achieve affirmative action to include more women in leadership by appointments. So everything that was proposed in the BBI, and I'm even thinking that we are yet to see even more that they did not like, they rejected within the BBI, yet they wanted to come hidden in other forms. Ladies and gentlemen, Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto must accept that BBI was a good thing. And if BBI was a good thing and it was initiated by Uhuru Kenyatta, let them not come up with these allegations that Uhuru Kenyatta was that evil. Because when they speak, if you have not seen Uhuru Kenyatta or you don't know Uhuru Kenyatta, you will think that Uhuru Kenyatta was a demon. He wanted to kill Wafula Chebukati. There was a container of blood. They wanted to kill Dennis Itumbi, responsible for the downtrodden economy that they inherited. Every little thing. In fact, they have reversed everything that Uhuru did, including all the subsidies, all the projects, all the military men that Uhuru had placed in the civil service. Everything that Uhuru Kenyatta did has been reversed. The only thing that they cannot reverse are the project like roads that Uhuru built together with William Samoei Ruto. So, ladies and gentlemen, BBI is haunting this administration. I don't know what they are going to do. If I were this administration, I would pick it up and maybe change its name, but go with it the way it was, with a few changes so that they can realize whatever they want. Because when you look at them, it even appears to me that the BBI was going to help them more than it would help the Azimio, because look at where they are now, back to square one. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? That is my take.